Hey everybody, Andrew Myers with Myers Testing Equipment here again. Today we have a very special guest and a really awesome piece of equipment to be showing you today. So without further ado, Mr. Anthony Caito from Instrotek. Anthony, how are we doing today?
I'm doing great, Andrew. Thanks so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So Anthony is our rep over at Instrotek. And as many of you know, we rep a lot of their equipment, you know, the core locks, core drives, the Hamburg Smart Tracker. And we've been doing business with them over 15 years. So we've been really fortunate to have a great relationship with them. And today we're going to be showing one of their newer pieces of equipment, the NoNuke. So Anthony, take us away a little bit and give us a basic overview of what the NoNuke is.
Absolutely. So the NoNuke is a dielectric density gauge that we use on asphalt. And the main reason why we wanted to come to market with something like this was popular request, popular demand in the industry. And we wanted to give something to our customers and our distributors that they could use on asphalt for testing. You know, there's other ones out in the market right now. And so we wanted to give something that was a lot more similar to the look and the landscape of our Explorer 3500 and the nuclear gauges that we already manufacture. So that's where the NoNuke came to the forefront. A lot of people are trying to get away from nuclear technology because of the licensing, because of the hazards, potential hazards to, you know, their employees and the technicians in the field. So the NoNuke is a real good answer for that on asphalt. Now it is only for asphalt, but that's the main reason why I wanted to come to market with something like the NoNuke.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about the applications. You know, who would be using this? What kind of jobs can they use it on? Because obviously most people are very used to the nuclear side of the gauges. So where does the NoNuke really fit in the application sides?
Yeah, so I think that's a three-prong answer. Mainly you'll have the contractors that use it. Obviously they're going to use it out in the field for their QC spot checks and, you know, setting roller patterns of that nature. But you'll also have DOTs, agencies using it as well out in the field. And then, you know, geotechnical firms want to use it for QC if they're working alongside a contractor as well. So there's three different avenues that we can sell and use this. The piece of equipment is sold more to contractors than anything. Somebody that's doing their own QC internally that wants to be able to obviously produce a high quality product in the field as well. So they want to have high quality equipment. And, you know, a lot of these geotechnical firms are already using our gauges. So the recommendation to the contractor would always be go with what you're familiar with. And that's why the NoNuke is a really great answer for a lot of contractors.
Absolutely. Great. Now, I know a lot of people want to know a lot about the software side. Obviously, Instrotek is, you know, on the forefront of innovation and getting that software up to date into, you know, the 2022 years as we go through. So what kind of software is built into the unit that would really help that end user take the results and get the results out there?
Absolutely. And the software is where we like to excel. Obviously, a lot of our values and mission statement is being innovators in instrumentation technology. And one of those avenues is through the software portion. And so with the software on the NoNuke, you're going to get the same type of software that you can get with our newer model, the Explorer 2 nuclear gauge as well. And the reason why I keep making the correlation between the two is because obviously more people know about the nuclear side. So I want to let everybody know that if you're going into the non-nuclear side, you're going to get the same software and the same capabilities that you would get with the nuclear. So the software, the main things that it includes that are really interesting and kind of at the forefront right now are the GPS and the Bluetooth technology. And the software itself, you know, has a lot of different corrections and things that are built in our actual software that'll help give more accurate readings using the dielectric technology. So being able to use the application that we have that you can download off the Google Play Store, along with being able to get results directly onto your phone and emailing them right from the field is really a step in the right direction as far as software and real-time QC analysis for project managers.
Great. So let's talk a little bit about that application. I know a lot of people ask. It is a free app off of iOS and Play Store.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Yeah, it is a free app. Currently, it is not iOS. It is just on the Android platform. Obviously, we would like for it to be on both, and hopefully in the future that it will be. But currently, it's just for Android, and you can just get it on the Google Play Store for the Android platform.
Okay, absolutely. Now let's talk a little bit about the data storage of the unit. You know,
Sure.
How much storage does it have, and what are kind of the options that, other than the app, what other options can people take the data off the unit?
Yeah, this is great, and I like this a lot for having been in the field and testing with this when we were in the R&D stage. I really like this because obviously, if you're a part of a consulting firm, you may be going around to multiple projects working for your different customers that day. So being able to store from one project to another is very, very important. And vice versa, if you're a contractor and you have multiple projects maybe going on that week, you can switch from project to project. So to get right into it, it can do up to 25 mixes and projects on that project storage. And then all that project storage can then be uploaded and downloaded onto your computer via USB or Bluetooth.
Great. So it's really easy to use. I mean, like most things that Instrotek makes, it's a really easy to use, user-friendly platform.
Yeah, I think that's always our end goal. You know, repeatability and to eliminate human error is always what we're trying to do. It's hard enough to stay safe in the industry right now when you're having to worry about your equipment malfunctioning and not being easy to use. So that was our kind of first thing, is how can we make it easy for our customers to use our equipment in the field? And then on the backside, when you're talking about data analysis, how can they get the data quick, easy, and up to whoever they need to get the results that they need?
So I know a lot of people already know Instrotek makes some really high-end, really quality equipment. So let's talk a little bit about what the NoNuke's made out of, and and how it kind of correlates or is similar to the X2 unit.
Yeah, absolutely. So we wanted to focus in on not only looking similar and having similar functionality, but we also wanted to have it still be that robust, durable gauge that we've always produced. So you're going to still have the polycarbonate top shell that's very robust, but also very light. And then the base of the unit is obviously going to be a little bit different because the technology is different. You're not using nuclear technology in this particular instance, so that it's not going to be the precision machine base that we use for the nuclear gauges. It's a different robust material, but it's still strong enough to stand up against obviously how the hot asphalt that it's going to be on. So the sensors on the bottom still have to be able to penetrate and get through the material, but it has to be coarse and durable enough so that it's not getting beat up in the field, because obviously in the construction industry, one of the things is wear and tear, and we want to alleviate as much of that as possible. So the construction is still the same. Obviously the electronics inside are moisture resistant like they've always been. One of the problems that we've had in the field with not only our competitors, but just the industry as a whole is obviously you're working in conditions that are subject to change. And so moisture can be a big issue. And in the case of the NoNuke, we've really kept those surface mounted and precision electronics with the lacquer coated boards to really alleviate any of that.
Great. So it's obviously a really well built unit, and we all know that. I mean, Instrotek makes some really, really great equipment. So, and
well, thank you.
Yeah, and a huge component of this is obviously the non-nuclear component. We get calls here constantly, asking about licensing requirements. So let's dive a little bit into that.
Sure.
Are there any licensing requirements for the NoNuke?
There are no licensing requirements, and that's the beauty of this piece of equipment. So we can have something in this space now that doesn't require the requirements of the nuclear gauge. Aside from that, also our unit does not require yearly calibration, which is a huge thing. The way that the unit is calibrated, obviously we send it with a quick start guide and a manual to run everybody through how it's used, but just food for thought, this is a calibration and verification that's done quickly in the field, and as long as it's passing while it's out in the field getting its daily standard, then it does not have to come in for yearly calibration, which is another benefit. So no regulatory documentation needed and no yearly calibrations needed.
Well, let's go on the calibration side too, because that's an annual cost you do have to factor in with the nuclear gauges. So it's good to know for everybody out there that you can, just keep it in your hands and not have to have that yearly budget for all your nuclear gauge calibrations if you do decide to go the NoNuke.
Sure, and like all equipment, we always send out any kind of firmware or software updates as they come out. We're constantly evolving and changing, trying to get more competitive in regards to accuracy and being able to be in front of the customer as far as helping them get and achieve their accurate results. And one of the ways that we do that is constantly upgrading software and always internally testing here to make sure that we are keeping up with the industry. So you might get updates throughout the year as far as software, but as far as calibration, you should be good.
Absolutely. I know you touched on accuracy a little bit. So let's talk a little bit about, repeatability and accuracy of the NoNuke. It's obviously a little bit of a newer technology. Most people are used to the nuclear gauges. So how do the two correlate? Are we going to be getting very similar results here on the asphalt side? Well, expand on that a little bit for us.
Sure, that's a great question, and I think that's the question that we're going to get most out of our customers, right? And in the R&D process, throughout the entire time, we were testing it up against our competition. Because obviously you want to be as good, if not better than the competition. That is, I think that's everyone's goal. I think Troxler and Transtech would both say the same thing in regards to that. So one thing that I wanted to focus on here is that it definitely does correlate and compare to those, and in some instances is better. And then obviously, much like anything, with depending on the material, you're going to get different results. So when you're looking at accuracy along with beside nuclear gauges, something like the 4640, or if you're looking at it with another dielectric gauge like the PQI or the PAVE tracker, you're going to get very similar results. And most of the time you're going to be using that correlation from the core in the field anyway. So it's definitely comparable, and you can definitely feel comfortable and confident when you buy the NoNuke from Instrotek. There's no doubt about it.
Absolutely. Well, great, Anthony. I really appreciate you jumping on with us today. I think we hit all the really, the high points of what the NoNuke does. So
Absolutely.
Guys, like always, please give us a call. Number is down in the description. If you have any more questions, we'll be more than happy to help you out. Again, great relationship with Instrotek and Mr. Anthony Caito. So Anthony, again, thank you very much for jumping on with us today.
Thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate it. Love you guys over at Myers. Thanks for everything you do.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.